In December 1996, the Orient Express was hauled by a 31 for the first time. Not only is this class rarely seen on the Southern, 31407 is the only one in mainline livery. Possibly for the last time, a loco hauled Birmingham to Ramsgate service ran on 5 summer Saturdays. A station was planned here at the time of the line's construction. Meanwhile, the route learning vehicle, converted from a former EPB unit, is seen en route to Victoria. Due to engineering work in August, mainline services were diverted via the Catford Loop. The Birmingham Ramsgate is seen again, followed by 2 Class 33s on engineers' trains. The section between Nunhead and Lewisham is known as the Brockley Lane Line and sees many freight movements. This 58 is heading for Angerstein Wharf. In the opposite direction, a Class 37 leads the Who Three Bridges Departmental. Meanwhile, SEPs are gradually being phased out. Eurostar loadings are well up on last year. On the 9th of August, the Birmingham Ramsgate was operated by a pair of 37s. SEPs have been around since 1956. However, they have now been replaced on the fast Ramsgate via Chatham services by the new Class 365. The Birmingham Ramsgate service again, passing the site of the former steam shed at Faversham. The signal box at Margate currently controls the down line from Faversham and the up line from Ramsgate. In our final shot of this section, the Birmingham Ramsgate is seen on its return. Although these services were booked to be hauled by a 47-7, with the exception of the 37s seen at Bickley, every service was worked by a 47-9 from the infrastructure pool. The familiar sight of Class 73s on Gatwick Express duties will soon come to an end, as they are to be displaced by new dedicated units from December 1998. Next is a 47 bound for Dollond's Moor. Class 20s performed their usual autumnal leaf clearing duties with the water cannon train. Working the Salfords to Cliffstone train is a pair of 33s. Conic South Central initially had a problem relivering their older stock, resulting in a few ghost trains. No problem for the 319s, however, which now work a slightly accelerated London to Brighton service. Although officially retired from anything other than departmental duties, here are the 33s again, this time running from Purley to Salfords. One of the most notorious lines for leaf fall problems is that between Horsham and Sutton. At the end of May, the DEMU-operated Uckfield line held a gala weekend featuring a half-hourly service. Also taking part was the preserved mainline unit number 1001. On a foggy day in February, a DEMU also ran on the mothballed Newhaven Marine branch. Accompanied by a foghorn, this is the Ford Prefect. The final rail tour to visit this short branch was the Last In, Last Out, or LILO for short. Stagecoach have managed to come up with the worst livery of all, combining the original lighter shade of blue used by Network South East and their own stripy colour scheme. This 33 is on a route learning training trip to Eastleigh and Temple Mills. The uniquely liveried 73101 has been back on Orient Express duties. Many special trains are run in connection with Royal Ascot. In flaming June, a newly reliveried 73 hauls the Queen of Scots. Clan Line was employed on a VIP special to Southampton in May. In snowbound Twickenham, the preserved mainline Demu heads for Bath. This is an ECS movement from Clapham Yard to Ascot in connection with a race special from Preston. Engineering work during November saw the cross-country service between Manchester and Brighton diverted via Woking and Guildford. Heading for Exeter and Bristol is the classic Crompton. In its final week of operation, this is the Quidhampton to Willesden China Clay working. Loads like these are obviously uneconomic, so it is now tripped to Eastleigh, where it is worked forward as part of an enterprise service. Running 2 hours late is the Southampton to Ripple Lane Freightliner. On June 21st, A1A Rail Tours appropriately ran The Longest Day to the Mid-Hants Railway. The final 33 rail tour was the 6-5 Special and ran on September 13. It is seen in failing light on its return journey to Waterloo, about to enter Popham Tunnel. To celebrate 30 years since the end of steam on the Southern, Clan Line and Tor Valley double head the Waterloo Sunset. In connection with the construction of Croydon tram link, 2 lines were shut at the end of May. The first one we see is that between Wimbledon and West Croydon, which originally opened in 1885. It will reopen towards the end of 1999 as a tram-operated line. The branch joins the main line just south of the station. The work will involve creating additional stations such as here at Dundonald Road Crossing. Originally a junction, the station buildings of Merton Park remain on the formation of the former line to Tooting, which shut to passengers in 1929. This West Croydon service is passing the site of the actual junction, which was finally lifted in 1975. Mitcham Goods Yard was here until closure in 1967. A connection was provided to deliver construction material to the St Helier estate. Double track is rejoined to the east of Mitcham Station. Much of the route from here on is built on the course of the Surrey Iron Railway, opened in 1803. The line from London to Sutton comes in from the left. Tramlink will have its own station just to the right of the picture, and the points will be removed. Other than the Wimbledon to West Croydon service, Mitcham Junction is also served by the half-hourly Victoria to Sutton service, although a few Thameslink services run through without stopping. Surprisingly, the signal box remains. From the other end of the station, the Sutton line is seen diverging to the left. A bridge will carry tram-link over this before rejoining its original formation. A new station and depot will be built here at Therapia Lane. This 456 is about to cross a set of points which were installed to serve an infrastructure depot which was ultimately never built. Originally part of a power station, note how the colour scheme applied to the chimneys of IKEA are uncannily like Conic South Central. At Wandle Park, the tracks turn to run alongside the West Croydon to Sutton line. A flyover will be built here to take tram-link over the main line and into Croydon itself. Finally, the Wimbledon train arrives at the dedicated platform at West Croydon. The other line involved is the Addiscombe to Elmers End branch, which was opened in 1864. Although the northern half of the branch will reopen under tram-link, this section has shut completely. In later years, the line lost its through service to London and passengers had to change at Elmers End. Stock was birthed here until the coming of the networkers in 1993. Since then, the shed has been empty and the site faces an uncertain future. As the signal box at Addiscombe was destroyed by fire in 1995, a pilotman was required to ride on the train. Nevertheless, although out of use, these two semaphores remain to the end. Tramlink will reinstate the line towards Selsdon, which branched off here until closure in 1983. The section to Addiscombe will then be lifted. Woodside was the only intermediate station. Note the repeater signal on the up platform. Arena Station will be built here. A new line will diverge to the left to join the existing station at Birkbeck. Services will also continue to Elmer's End. Connection is made here with the Charing Cross to Hayes line. The tram link project is scheduled for completion at the end of 1999.